Charlie Simpson.
Hello.
Your new music is clearly quite different to work that you've done in the past.
Yes.
Do you want to talk us through it and describe the sound?
Yes. Basically, it's predominantly acoustic based, and a lot of the tracks on the album have kind of layered harmonies, which is an influence from the stuff that I grew up listening to that my dad put me onto, really. Stuff like the Beach Boys and Jackson Browne and Crosby, Stills and Nash, the Eagles. There's a lot of stuff in the 70s that had that really big vocal sound, and I loved that when I was growing up. And so when I started writing my solo stuff, I knew that was the direction I was going to take, because that's the stuff that I still listen to now. I love those records, and they sound amazing. So, and I think that Down, Down, Down is a nice representation of that. And when people ask me, like, what was your solo stuff like? When my friends would ask me when I was making the record, and I would always put that song on to kind of show them, give them an idea of what it was like. And I thought, well, if I'm naturally doing that, gravitating towards that song, then Down, Down, Down would be a good, obviously the right song to make the first single.
So it wasn't hard to choose amongst.
No.
Yeah.
And some of the songs on the record are much more instrument heavy, they're more band orientated. Some of it's a lot more stripped down, but yeah, that was the kind of the influence behind, the main influence behind the record.
And so is this kind of style of music something you've been wanting to do for quite a long time then? Yeah.
And it's, I've always loved singer-songwriters. I'm a big fan of Elliott Smith and Jeff Buckley and Boniface Billy. Throughout my life, that's always been kind of running in tandem with the heaviest stuff that I've been listening to.
Yeah.
And I think that it actually, that's the same with a lot of people, because a lot of people I know that are into kind of heavy rock music also have a passion for a lot more chilled stuff, especially singer-songwriters.
So how are you feeling about the response so far?
Feeling very positive.
Yeah.
I'm very, very pleased with the way it's been received. I was really nervous when I kind of handed it over, because I've been so close to it for a year, and it was only really that my family and my management, my girlfriend, they were like, there weren't that many people that knew what it was, and people knew I was doing it but didn't really know what to expect. And so when I then played it to people and it got played on the radio and stuff, I was kind of like, oh, what are people going to think about it? And it was just really nice that everyone was so positive. So I feel very grateful for that.
And you had a pretty good show at the Tabernacle last week, so has that kind of settled any nerves you might have had?
I can't remember when I was that nervous before. I literally was like on set, just before the stage, I was like, and I walked on stage, and within about 5 seconds the crowd was so nice and so supportive that I suddenly just went from nerves to excited, and then just had a great show. It was good.
Was it weird playing songs, because obviously your album, it hasn't been released, people don't know the songs.
Yeah.
How was it playing songs that
I always find it weird when I go, because I've done that a few times. I've gone to see bands where they're either playing a new album and predominantly playing material from that record, or you just don't know the songs. But I think that it was good because they knew some songs. I think they knew enough. I mean, 4 songs they did know, because they're we've given away a free EP that's got a couple of the tunes on. So that was nice. But I think it was just an opportunity for people just to listen and hear the tunes. And I think we did a good job. I think we played them well. So hopefully we'll all enjoy them. And
from internet detection work, it seems like "Please Let Me Go" has been really favoured.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I wrote that 4 days before the show, just as a. I don't think we've got enough songs to play because So I literally I wrote that song in about 25 minutes in my bedroom, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. I might play that. And then suddenly everyone was like, oh, they really like that tune. So I actually spoke to my management today. I probably shouldn't be saying this, but until we can make sure we can do it, I'm going to record that song and then put it as a album only download on iTunes. So if you get the record on iTunes,
cool.
I don't think there's time to put it on the physical record.
No.
Because we've got to get in and it's all gone to the label and stuff. But I think what we can do is put it. On iTunes, if you buy the album, you can get a bonus track.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll do. That's what I'm going to try and do. So don't hold me to it. But that's my plan.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And so the band that you played with at Tabernacle, are they your touring band for the whole?
Yeah, they are. They're great guys. And one of them, interestingly, I went to school with, and I was in a band with when I was about 14.
Oh.
And when I started putting the band together, I rang him up and said. He goes, oh, by the way, I'm moving to London because I want to start playing music. And I was like, well, that's
by the way,
convenient.
I'm playing music too.
So I'm putting a band together, and he was like, oh, great. Because he's actually in another band as well, but he said he'd love to get involved in my stuff. And the guy that drummed on the album, a guy called Ruben, he knew the other guys, so it was actually really quick. I was actually really worried about putting the band together because I thought it has to be so right because I'm so meticulous about, I played 90% of the instruments on the record myself, and I wanted to do that because I just knew exactly, I had the vision in my head, and I just thought, if I want this to be, the way I imagine it. And so I thought I was going to have to go through loads of different musicians to try and get the right people in the band, and literally we set up, had a rehearsal.
Kind of like X Factor audition style.
Yeah.
Buzzer.
Be the sound
Yeah.
guy, But we had one rehearsal and they were just awesome. So.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Yeah. And your lyrical content, I think, is quite different to what you've done in the past as well. Obviously, completely different style of music. So where do you get your inspiration from for writing your lyrics?
I think I kind of gone down the element of kind of storytelling in with writing this music, and I like that because it's like. Whereas with other, with five-star stuff, it could be really reflective emotions that don't necessarily tie together in a sense of a story. They're more talking about the way you feel about something.
Yeah.
And I wanted, I liked the idea of actually kind of telling stories on this record. So a few of the songs are actually, pretty much stories from start to finish.
Yeah. And from what I've heard of the album, because we had a sampler sent in, and it's awesome. But a few of the songs seem a bit sad.
Yeah, it's
funny.
funny.
Are you okay?
It's funny.
What's wrong with you, Charlie?
It's so funny. Someone else said that to me the other day. They're like, it's quite sad, isn't it? You're right. I was like, yeah. Whatever. I think it's because it's funny because in my mind, it's not a sad record. It's a happy record, and I think that's because I was so happy when I was making it.
Yeah.
And like we were making it in the summer last year, and I was in this amazing studio. It's just me and this guy called Danton Supple who produced it, and I was just having the best time ever. So. It feels happy to me, but I guess some of the lyrics are sad. But I mean, it's not depressing sad. It's reflective. It's melancholy.
It sounds like tortured songs.
Yeah, no, I like melancholy is that I get the most emotion out of that, whether it's in films or music.
Yeah.
Happy songs are great, and there are a couple on the record, but
it's kind of like sad lyrics, but with happy melodies,
exactly,
kind of masking
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I love in music in general.
Yeah. And in I Need a Friend. You talk about Jesus a little bit. Are you religious?
Yeah. My brother and my dad are incredibly religious. They're Christian, and I am as well. I mean, I'm not as far along as they are, but it's something that I've been interested in from a young age. Because since the age of about 15.
Yeah.
And it's often throughout the five-star stuff it kind of. Played a part, so it was also some of the stuff I was writing about. It's something that I'm interested in, I think about, definitely.
And does your solo stuff have kind of a time limit on it as such? Because Fight Star are meant to be recording next year,
there's not a time limit.
Just going to keep it going as well.
Basically, with the Fight Star guys, we've all just said, we'll do our own thing, and then when the time's right, we'll come back and, so I think, they're doing their own music thing at the moment. Dan and Al have just start recording a thing. I heard a bit of last night. Actually, it's really good.
Yeah.
But I want to focus my absolute attention on this.
Yeah.
For as long as it takes, really, because I want to share the record with as many people as I possibly can. So I wouldn't say there's a time limit, but I'm just looking forward to getting out there and playing it. Because I spent last year kind of just away from it all, just very secluded, making the record. That's what was so nice at Tabernacle, just to be able to just play it and just enjoy it and just get it out, and enjoy people, see people's reactions, and I think that's what I'm really looking forward to. So we just announced these dates, which are in June, end of June, beginning of July. So that's the first run of dates, and we're going to do a couple of festivals, and then we'll do some more shows. I think in October we're going to plan a much bigger tour. So. After
the album's released, so Thorns and Sundown from the EP, are they going to be on the album or are they separate?
Yeah. Because Thorns is a demo on the EP. But I wasn't sure people were going to get confused about that. Because the free EP is demos of Down, Down, Down the Thorns.
The free EP?
A free EP, yeah. And then Sundown is a proper album version.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my favourite tracks on the album. So I just thought it's good to give, I think in the changing face of the music industry when, you're combating people downloading for free anyway. My thinking is if you give some stuff away for free, then maybe they'll buy the record. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would hope that people still buy music because I certainly do. I never I'd never use LimeWire,
Mm.
and you know, as I said, the music industry is a very different place now, but I think there, you know, I think and what it takes is for artists to be more, you know, I think you've got to, you know, give stuff to your fans. I think that's a great idea because, you know, fans support you so much,
Yeah.
and I wanted to, you know, give something away for free because I think that's nice. You know, it shows that you're kind of appreciating the support, and so that's great. But I really hope that people do still buy music because it's so important to support artists, because there really isn't any other outlet for them, you know, to be able to survive. You know, and you know, buying the record will generate the interest for people to go and see it live. It's just it's a great thing. I mean, I think that it's strange. It's just funny when you see the music industry how much it's changing over the you know, things like Spotify and things that 10 years ago you'd think what is that?
Like a tuning app on a phone.
Yeah, on a phone. But it's good, and I think there is a healthy appetite for music. You know, that's the thing. Music is never going to die because people love music. You know, it's inherently built inside of us. I genuinely think I've never met anyone that's been like, I don't like music, as in, no, music, turn it off, I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone kind of, it's like eating or whatever, or drinking, or it's almost like
Life's great pleasures.
it is like a natural human pleasure. And so I don't think the want for it will ever go away. It's just a case of people thinking, you know, if they buy a record, it is actually supporting the artist, and that's important.
Yeah.
And exactly the same in the film industry.
Definitely. Yeah. We'll just